Model Making Guru is sponsored by emodels.co.uk, your one-stop shop for all your model making needs. emodels.co.uk. Make something awesome.
Hey everyone, Foxx here. I love teaching people how to do what I do, and many of my followers have been inspired to start producing their own YouTube content. More people teaching is never a bad thing. For a long time now, I've tried to put together a how to YouTube series, but the script always comes out like 3 hours long and very boring. So I've decided instead to do a quick do's and don'ts video. I shall throw you some little tips to make sure that your videos are watchable and seen. The whole point of doing a tutorial video is to teach others how to do, but if your video gets in the way of them actually learning, then the mission is a failure. You want people to keep coming back, and putting up a big wall of shonky video, terrible audio or easily fixed gaffes will get people bailing out after just a few minutes without even subscribing. Not everyone can afford a spanky, high-quality camera. I certainly can't. But that doesn't mean you have to film on a potato. To teach someone, they have to be able to see what you are doing. It's 2018. If your video isn't at least 720p resolution, no one's going to want to watch. Here's footage in different resolutions. If you haven't got a spanky camera, then use either the smartphone that you've probably already got, or at a pinch, a webcam that can film at least 1080p. Webcams are not the best, so avoid 720p on those if you can. Also, never film or edit at 60 frames per second. 60 frames per second is for video games, not for us middle-aged nerds gluing bits of Spitfire together slowly. Stick to 30 frames a second, plus older computers can't even handle video at 60 frames a second anyway. And never, ever, ever use image stabilization, either in your video editing software or in YouTube. It sucks. It looks terrible and it makes viewers uncomfortable. If your videos are filmed on a potato camera, the viewer will be unable to see what you're doing and will close your video down after 2 minutes and never come back. For the love of dog, never film handheld unless it's absolutely necessary. Mount your camera. If you don't have a tripod, then just jerry-rig something with some tape and cardboard. It doesn't really matter, as long as it's something you can mount your camera into so it's stable and doesn't move. The viewer will leave after 2 minutes if your camera is moving all over the damn place, making them feel seasick. I've seen people trying to build parts of a model whilst holding the camera. Don't do it. I should not even have to mention this. Never film in portrait mode. If you're using a smartphone as a camera, turn it sideways. Portrait mode is for chavs filming their mate vandalising a bus stop and posting it on Instagram, somehow thinking they won't get found out because they're mindless chavs. You are trying to produce a professional, thoughtful and educational video. Television and film is filmed in landscape. Televisions and monitors are landscape format. If you want people to watch more than 3 seconds of your videos and want to appear as a wise, knowledgeable model maker and not just get laughed out of comment sections, then for the love of baby Jeebus, film landscape. If you film like a mouth-breathing chav, the viewer will leave and never come back. Put quite simply, you need it. The more lights you have, the more people can see what you're doing, and more importantly, the better image quality your camera will produce. Webcams and smartphones suck absolutely in low light, and even if filming in 1080p, a gloomy dark environment will give low quality recordings. Have at least 2 lights, one to the left and one to the right, and if possible, one above, if not more. Use daylight bulbs. The temperature on the side of the box will read 5500 to 6500 K to make sure the video doesn't come out orange. To avoid smartphone image flicker, those little bars and stripes you get, try to avoid strip lights and go for regular bulbs or LEDs. If they can't see what you're doing, the viewer will leave and never come back. Webcams have microphones and they all suck. Smartphone mics are usually okay, but they often need you to be quite close or to talk really, really loud so they can pick you up, but they will also pick up everything else around you. If you can, think about an external microphone. If you're using a smartphone as a camera, you can get the cheap yet awesome Boya lavalier microphones for around about 15 quid on Amazon. They get rid of a lot of external noise and they give you really good quality recordings close up. If you're using a webcam or a camera and can afford it, think about getting a decent desk microphone like the Blue Yeti. A desk microphone will also be invaluable if you want to do live streams. Just don't depend on the microphone in your webcam. They are all terrible. If they can't hear you or the audio is terrible, the viewer will leave and never come back. Nothing stops me watching a video more than constantly shifting focus and white balance. It can be disorienting to have the image constantly refocusing or swapping between light and dark when something in shot moves. Also, nothing is less fun to watch than the presenter fighting to get the camera to focus on the thing they want to show. If your camera allows it, then lock the focus on the thing you are filming and keep it locked there. If the camera has a white balance setting, then make sure to set that before you start filming. Use something white or light coloured, positioned where your focal point will be, to tell the camera what the setting should be. That way, the camera won't adjust every time something lighter or darker comes into shot, or it won't adjust the focus every time something moves. Sometimes you'll need to get creative with white balance, especially when filming something dark coloured, but you'll get the hang of it. If your focus and white balance is all over the place and constantly changing, the viewer will be uncomfortable and will leave and never come back. If you want to keep someone's attention for a whole video and get them to come back for more, then it is important to build a relationship with the viewer, so you must focus on your presentational skills. Now, no one is expecting you to produce BBC quality documentaries here, although I have to admit that some dark corner of my mind really wants me to one day do that sort of really socially awkward walking down the street talking to a camera that no one else can see thing, because basically my brain hates me. But if you want to teach someone, then approach presenting like you are actually teaching someone. Imagine that you're only filming for one person, and imagine that that person is sitting there right next to you. How would you talk to that person? I find it handy to have it in my mind that I'm teaching my best mate how to do stuff, and he's sitting right next to me and I'm talking to him directly. It makes for a more personal viewer experience and creates a relationship between you and them. Don't ever script what you'll say, as that will suck the life out of your dialogue, unless, of course, it is a pre-recorded video like this one, obvs. But if you suck at reading a script without sounding like you're reading a script, then just avoid it altogether. Remember, you want to reach as many people as possible. Talk clearly, conversationally, and avoid getting too street and hardcore. No one will watch if you present like you're a chavvy mouth breather hanging out around the local bus stop with the mates, drinking White Lightning. If that even is a thing anymore, I doubt it. At first, it may be tough and feel a bit weird and you'll be nervous, but just talk to the imaginary person sitting next to you. You'll soon forget there's even a camera there. If you don't build up a relationship with the viewer or sound like a phone salesman reading a dry script, the viewer will leave and never come back. Following on from what we just talked about, when you build a relationship with the viewer, you want him or her to think that you are pulling out all the stops to teach them because they are special and lovely and full of potential waiting to be tapped. You need to show that you are totally focused on their needs. This will not happen if you have the TV or stereo on in the background. When you film, the only things in the universe should be you and the person you are teaching. Imagine going to a friend's house for some important advice. You're going through a crisis and you want help. And whilst you're trying to talk, they have the TV on full blast and at no point do they turn it off. Yeah, it's kind of annoying and it suggests that they would rather be watching telly than talking to you. Turn off the TV or the stereo, get everyone else out of the room, sell the children, devote yourself to the viewer. Besides the fact that in all likelihood YouTube will pull your video for trying to broadcast copyright material from the TV or the stereo, it tells the viewer that you can't be bothered to put them first if you don't do this, in which case they'll not be bothered to watch or subscribe. No one out there is expecting Scorsese or Spielberg quality stuff from us, but viewer loyalty can be gained from editing your videos to look a bit more polished. Don't just film everything in one take and dump it from the camera to the YouTubes. Get yourself some editing software. There's plenty to choose from, paid stuff like Pinnacle or Movavi or others, but there's also free bare-bones stuff like Windows Movie Maker. All vary, but all are just absolutely fine. Take time to cut scenes together, edit out pauses, dead air, coughs, and those moments when you reach for the camera to stop recording. Leave a couple of seconds of silence at the end of each take so that you can later add some transitions between the scenes like fades or swipes, rather than just having hard cuts. If you want to, add a little quiet background music where it's appropriate. Spend time making some titles and credits. Taking time to make your videos look good tells the viewer that you know what you're doing and encourages them to listen to what you have to say, and once you get the hang of it, editing is super easy. So you've filmed your shizzle, edited it nicely and had a good old natter with the viewer, shown them some cool stuff and rendered it out at 1080p and 30 frames a second. Upload it and you are done, right? No. Once the video is on YouTube, you need to make sure people who are not already subscribed to your channel actually find it. Remember this mantra always: titles, text and tags. When it comes down to brass tacks, there are only really two reasons why someone watches your model making tutorials: to find out how to do something, or to find out about that specific model kit. If someone is searching on YouTube or Google for something specific, say how to paint a 1/72 scale Foxx Wolf, and your video is titled "My Playing Build Part 3" and has a description "Part 3, please like and subscribe," then let's just be honest about it, you're never going to come up in search results and they'll never find you. YouTube and search engines put you in search results based on three things: the title of the video, the text, that is the description underneath the video, and the tags. Make sure that all three of these things have as much information in them that will be picked up by a search. For titles, include the kit and what you are actually doing in the episode. In this case, maybe something like Hobby Boss 1/72 Foxx Wolf Part 4, painting the camouflage, or something like that. Same for the description, include as many relevant and searchable terms in there. And lastly, always add a ton of tags of things that you think might be search terms that will help your video appear in search results. Last thing, and I cannot stress this one enough, make playlists. Use playlists. If I watch a video that I like and then find that I can't find part 2 because it's somewhere amongst 1,000 others on the channel and there's no playlist, I will very quickly leave that channel and not subscribe because I don't have the time to waste doing something that the channel should do for me. Well, that's enough for now. Hopefully there are a few things in here that will help you get on your feet and get you making decent content that people will want to watch and that they'll keep coming back for. If you have any questions about other aspects of filming tutorial videos that you're not sure about, just feel free to ask in the comments below. But that's going to do us for this time. Go off and make something awesome, go be awesome, and until next time, adios amoebas.